If fighting was a god, I would worship him. I would bow to him. I would pray for victory. For he only grants opportunities. But behind every god lurks a devil. And the devil wants me to take a dive. My name is Annatomic. And this is how my legend was made.
When footsteps fall in eldritch hollows, and spectres flee into the shadows, that is the time when horror's heroes abound, culling the ghouls that go bump in the night.
You're now entering the domain of paint and canvas. The only limits are those of the imagination. New possibilities will emerge with every brushstroke, and the paint thickens.
From the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is SHANTH ENJETI. You're watching SHANTH ENJETI Art. And thank you guys so much for all the birthday wishes. Thank you guys for all of the support. We're going to be doing something fun today. I'm in a great mood, and I have been trying to psych myself up to do this for a while, but we are doing a legit painting demo / lesson today. We're going full Bob Ross on this business, and I am really excited about it. I just saw Jaws on the big screen for the first time last night. It was on an IMAX screen, so a very big screen. 8 bells and all, as well, as we say here, and so we're going to get ready to rock and roll. So let me take a look and see who we've got here in the chat. Of course, I've got my brother and channel member, Mark's Music Obsession. Hello, how are you doing? We've got Mikey in the house. Mikey, it's good to see you. We have got, who else have we got here? We have got Krabby Patty in the house. How are you doing, Krabby Patty? We've got Michelle Bowers. We have got Sir Lister of Smeg in the house. How are you doing? We've got Cecil Ree. I feel like I'm saying Sicily, but I'm not sure. We've got Amoral Fat 40 ounce. How are you doing, my friend? And let me see. Did I get everybody so far? I think I've got everybody. We've got Simply Green. How are you doing, Simply Green? Just chilling. Just chilling, says Simply Green. We've got 36 people watching between X and YouTube, but here's the fun part of what we're doing today, guys. Cats and kittens, kittens and cats. Apologies for the camera tilts. I'm trying to always find an angle that's best for me to show you guys this stuff. What's up, Growl Jones? And hello, AJ. How are you doing? So here's the deal. Yeah, I'm going to beat the devil out of that brush today, Krabby Patty. You know how I roll. Christopher Bouchard, how are you doing? It is great to see you. Hello, Shanth. And DC posted 2027 is the super... So wait, it's not coming out till... Oh, I guess 2027 isn't that far away. That's kind of terrifying. Cool cats and kittens indeed, Growl. And what is up, my brother Timmy Mello is here. Hail, chat, and happy birthday, Sean. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Mrs. Enjetti gave me an amazing birthday by taking me to see Jaws on the big screen in IMAX. Lots of cool presents and fun things like that. What's up, Jeremy Burtz, OG channel member, my brother, and same with Timmy Mello. And of course, we've got Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. All right, guys, let's get down to brass tacks, okay? So I wanted to talk about, or I wanted to show you guys how to paint today. Are you up for it? Is everybody up for it? Jimin, is everybody up for it? Here's what we're going to do. So I was giving Eric Weathers a painting lesson earlier today, and I was planning on streaming. And what was the strangest thing about it, and something I've given a lot of thought to do. Did your member chat pop up? Did I miss it is the bigger question. Oh my gosh, it did pop up and I missed it. Mark's Music Obsession celebrates 23 months, almost 2 years. Where does the time go? Of membership. Hail, brother Shanth, and all the cool cats in the chat. And that's going to get you a cheerleader. Here we are. Charge! I feel like I know whose shadow that is, but I'm not positive. So right here, you've got all of the supplies for everything I'm using, including every color I would conceivably use, is in the description of this video. And what I learned today when I was working with Eric, and one of the things that was so fun about it is it had been a while since I had done a painting demo for Eric. And I used to do these a lot when I was in class and when I was teaching students, because not a lot of teachers do demos and actually show students how to do things. Things have been kind of taken over by, let me actually move this here, by critique culture. And what I wanted to make sure I did, thank you, Art of Dominique. I appreciate the happy birthday. Thank you so much. One of the things that I've started to realize is that art school education has gotten to the point to where the harder you work at it, the more tired your vocal cords are. And that's a problem. So it's a lot more, God, got to get out of the habit of doing that. Got to leave it here where I'm using it. We spend a lot more time, or I should say they spend a lot more time talking than they do actually showing people how to paint. And what was fun about working with Eric today is I haven't done a demo in a long time, and I did a really quick, demo for him. The amount you learn from watching somebody actually do a painting is so much more than somebody giving you a thought and saying, oh, maybe you should make that a different color or move that over, because you get a chance. Yes, indeed, my brother. Thank you so much for the happy birthday, Mark's Music Obsession. I appreciate it, brother. You learn so much more from watching somebody do a thing. And so what I want to show you guys how to do today is, if you are saying to yourself, I want to try painting out, I want to show you how to do it, how to think about it, and the things you can do. So let me just tilt this just a little bit more. I'm going to try to get my angle right so you guys can get a good view. So this is a gessoed black canvas, super cheap, got it on Amazon. This paintbrush right here is a Princeton Aqua Elite paintbrush. It's just a synthetic brush. It's not wildly expensive. Actually, my birthday was yesterday, so I have it the day before Ethan, believe it or not. So yeah, I've got a lot of September birthdays around here in Comicsgate. Some of you guys in the chat, I think, have September birthdays. But so yeah, the thing with this is that you've got this brush. This is gray paper palette. All of the materials I'm using are in the description, and then I use these colors, which are also in the description. Where the heck is it? It's not there. Did I put it over here? Where'd I put that tube of paint? There we go. Vivid lime green, cadmium red, black, and white. Those are the colors that we're going to be using. Yeah, I got to get my Bob Ross on. Is absolutely right, Art of Dominique. So here you go, guys. This is the stuff that is where you actually learn paint. These are heavy body acrylics. That's important. The only things I'm going to be using outside of the paper towel, the heavy body acrylics, and the brushes, and this black canvas is water. And I want to show you guys why I do that and what it looks like when you get your paint right. Now, when people are trying to learn how to paint acrylics, first of all, it helps for you to have acrylic paint that is good quality paint. And I don't mean it's expensive paint, although heavy body acrylics tend to be a little bit more expensive, are more expensive than things like, because they have more paint in them than basics. But if you want to get good results, you have to use something that works. And much like picking up cheap house paint or wall paint, you're going to take 20 coats. So it may be cheaper, but it's going to take more time and cost you about the same. So you want to get something that works. And one of the things I want you guys to see, thank you, Mechanoid. I appreciate it. And thank you, Christopher Bouchard, so much. You guys are the best. So what I do is I spend a lot more time over here getting that paint right. And I want to show you what acrylic paint is supposed to be like when you apply it, so that you guys can understand this stuff. If you've ever been afraid of painting, my hope is September 2nd is on my calendar now, brother. Oh, it was a great one, and thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. So I want to show you what it looks like. If you've ever been afraid of painting, if you've ever said to yourself, I can't do this, we're going to do just a fun little, maybe a Bride of Frankenstein portrait using some, vague, loose photo reference I have. So this is what your paint hopefully should look like when it goes down. You see that? See how that's coating? That is what you want from your paint. You want it to flow, not to drag, while you rough it in. And this is me just putting a basic ground down. And you always want to start with a ground when you're working. I like to work on a black canvas so there aren't any places where I get any contrasty white. But you guys will be able to paint along with me if you get these materials, because I think that that's something I want to pass on. I've been seeing a lot of people realizing that, digital artwork and AI artwork are starting to blend together. And I think we need to really work and pass on traditional skills to the next generation and have places you can go to learn them where they make sense. And really starting basic. That's what I want to do with this, is kind of introduce you guys to some of this stuff so that you are simplifying the process. Again, I'm using two complementary colors right now, red and green, and then black and white, and I haven't even brought white into the process yet. So this is how it's going to go down. This is how it's going to work. I don't know if I'll have as much luck as I had with Eric's demo, because I think that took about 5 minutes or so. This will probably take a little bit longer than 5 minutes. But it's a good way to really get people to start thinking about paint and how it works. Do you see how that you can see the paint going on the canvas, and you can see, it's not totally trying to coat it, but it's not dragging. It's just moving. I always say it should feel a little bit like buttering bread. You don't want the butter to be watery. You want it to be something that is coating it nicely. So you want to let it, have a nice opacity to it as it coats. You don't want it to be runny. And then you want it to just really move freely on the canvas. And so what you'll see me do when I mix paint is, if I'm mixing paint right here, I'm going to catch up with the chat. But when I'm mixing paint right here, I've got my paper towel so that if I get too much water in the paint, I just run the paint brush into it, sucks out that water on that paper towel, and then I'm back to working. And this should give me a decent enough ground to start thinking about what I'm going to do next. And that's going to be to put the silhouette in. So this ground, and I love to do things, at least when I'm starting out my paintings, I love to do things where I'm leaving little broken edges around things because I can always clean them up. But I do like the way, you know, it looks when you kind of just let the brush strokes do what they do. There we go. That's fun. And so there we go. This is what I'm doing right now with my ground. It's going to be a little bit more contrasty, perhaps, for you guys at home on the camera, but this is what we're talking about for our start. Let me take and see what I have in the chat. So glad I never put down the pencil. Yeah, that's right. Well, remember too, when I'm working, I want to show you guys, I'm not using a pencil. So I'm not using a pencil or anything else. Yeah, Adobe just yoinks your drawing at this point. Yeah, they pretty much do. And I also think that right now it's getting harder and harder for the average person to tell the difference. And so, yeah, Liquitex Acrylics is a good brand. Yeah, they are. They're a very solid brand. They've been around for a while. Some people prefer more expensive brands, but this is the stuff that I kind of got used to using when I was in school, and then their heavy bodies are what I started on. So, the heavy body Liquitex Acrylic, lime green, cadmium red medium, ivory black, and of course, titanium white or malin white, depending on what it says on my tube right here. So yeah, so here we go. So now, what is up, Mike Wood? How are you doing? Oh my gosh, I got the 2002 copy of Spring Ball off eBay. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the copy of the updated Spring Ball Terminal Monstrosity #1. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for you to get it, man. I cannot wait for you to get it. So what I'm looking at right here for this painting, and one of the things I'm going to be studying is, what's up, John? And actually, I have painted Spring Ball. But you know that at first I wasn't sure what I was going to do. You bought Thresher's #1, Chris. I was just talking with Mrs. Enjetti about that, and that's such a blast from the past, and I'm so glad that people are getting to see that. I actually wrote a lot of the story on that because they sent me this incomprehensible script, so I can tell you guys all the behind the scenes stuff on Threshers in terms of what I was thinking when I was doing it. So here's the part where I always say, people tend to get nervous when they're painting. The main thing is to breathe. The main thing is to not let yourself get nervous, but also to remember that this is painting. You can go back over it. It's an additive and subtractive process. And the other thing I would say is that big brushes tend to solve problems and small brushes tend to make problems. So what you're going to see me doing right now as I work is I'm going to start using a darker value to put in a silhouette for the Bride of Frankenstein figure that I'm going to put in here. And it's just a torso. I'm using some photo reference to kind of figure it out, or head and a little bit of the torso, shoulders maybe. So I'm just going to figure it out like that, but I'll show you what I mean. So whenever I'm painting and I'm roughing out a form, the main thing is to keep the angles happening. There we go. That's a little bit of a better angle for you guys in terms of reflection. So when I'm putting the figure in, I'm going from the outside of the silhouette in, and I'm not paying attention to any of the values. It's like I'm doing a chalk outline at this point of the figure. And then moving across. And you can see how the paint is coming on there and being really smooth because I've got a good viscosity going. It's not pulling up. It's not causing any trouble in that regard, which a lot of people struggle with acrylics because they don't do enough of what you see me doing off here to the side, which is why I've got it framed the way it does. I really try to make sure I get used to what the proper viscosity for paint is. And so we're going to go across like this. And then I'm going to say, okay, we're going to put the forehead in. And then her nose, because she's looking up. That was kind of fun to do. And then let's have that come back in. And then we're going to have, and we're not worried about it's not perfect yet because we can go and put the background back in if we want to. That's the fun thing about painting. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to see if I can mark where her chin would go in there. Let's do a little bit lower right there. And then we're going to go down this way for her neck. Look at how fun that is. It's like buttering bread. It's so cool. And these heavy body acrylics were a revelation to me because I used to hate acrylic paints before that. I got a hold of these. And so now we're going to go in. Just going to put a little bit more there, a little bit more out on the chin. I'm not going to do a smaller brush, not for a while if I do one at all, because I want to sort of get myself in the habit of staying with this one brush because we're trying to cover a lot of ground. What's up? I see my man Lloyd Burton in there, channel member. It's great to see you, brother. You're going to enjoy this episode, let me tell you. And this is what I'm going to be doing on this show, because if I can get you guys, you have the ability to play this stuff back because it's recorded, to even just start saying to yourself, you know, I think I might want to try to do a fun little crazy Halloween painting. And I'm showing it to you guys step by step and working at a good clip. That's the plan. So let's go and put in Lloyd Burton, who actually has a Bride of Frankenstein painting of mine, but it's in gouache and watercolor. So yeah, you're going to definitely enjoy this one, Lloyd. This is one of Lloyd's favorite characters. So let me see here. So now I'm going to go in and put her shoulder in right there. And I'm always angling. I don't ever want it to be vertical or perfectly horizontal unless it absolutely has to be. Because unless it is completely, because that's how you lose, you know, the essence of things is by squaring them up too much. It's a little bit like boxing, which I know tonight Terrence Crawford is fighting Canelo Alvarez. I think it's possible that Terrence could win on points based on what I've seen. I can't imagine him getting caught, although I've seen him get hurt before by Canelo Alvarez, for those of you guys who are curious what my boxing takes are, because he's an incredibly good mover, Terrence Crawford, and Canelo is getting up there. But it would be interesting if he could win a decision like Sugar Ray Leonard did against Marvelous Marvin Hagler. So living proof that I can not only talk and paint at the same time, I can actually talk boxing and paint at the same time. So here we go. Now take a look at this right now. I'm going to angle it. Already, as we start to put this together, I'm sure you guys can see it. We're starting to get a sense of, and what's up, Mo Biggs? How are you doing? What if she held one of Rocky's cats hostage? That's a thing that could happen, Mo. It's a thing that could happen. And so when you're looking at how I'm putting this thing together, the most important thing is to get that silhouette in there. If you have the silhouette, then you have the painting. You have the essence of it. People start to go, hey, wait a second, is that a painting of Bride of Frankenstein? Is that what that is? You know, they'll start to see that silhouette start to happen. And we haven't even done very much on this thing yet. Barely anything at all. So now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to go in and kind of rough that in a little bit more. And now let me see here. Let's do what would be fun to do. Let's grab a little bit of this white here. And hopefully you guys can see that on frame there. I'm going to take a little bit of this white and mix it in with the green, the black, and the reddish brown. So I'm actually mixing a very muddy color in here with some white and some green. Now this color that you're seeing right here, I want you to take a look, if you can see it, on this paper towel right here, okay? That's the color. Do you guys see that? That kind of gray, brownish color? Look at how dark that is. It could be Frau Blucher. That's right. Yeah. So you guys are cracking me up, man. So now I'm going to show you, putting in a little bit of a highlight here, how bright that color looks. You saw it on white. I'm going to even mix it into some of the darker color. But this is how bright it is when it's in the context of this painting. So we're going to move it across. I'm going to start thinking about, okay, maybe I want to start working in a little bit of value. Notice I'm using the sort of edge of the brush to keep my angles there. And I'm going to start to kind of rough things in a little bit. Move this over. Rough that in a little bit. And then maybe I'm going to go and put a little bit in there. A little bit in there. Just so we can start to see where the form is going to go. I'm going to grab a little bit more of my dark here. My dark red. I should probably wash this brush out because it's got a lot of white in it. And I want you just to take a look at how we're building this thing up. How it's coming together. And actually, you know what? I'm going to save that. I want to come back and do that. I don't want to switch colors just yet. That would be cheating. So now I'm going to get right here where you can kind of see her breast underneath the, I guess, what would we call this? It's like I guess a gown. I guess it's like a medical gown. There we are. And remember too, when you're painting, it's okay, and in fact, it's ideal to let it look like a painting. You want to actually have the brush strokes work. I've seen a lot of people talking about, you know, just the idea of, you know, trying to get a painterly look without paint. And then I think, well, yeah, but the biggest part of getting that painterly look is the media and letting the media do things and not trying to resolve it too much. And trying to, I'm sorry, trying to make it clear and not overdone. It's a little bit like cooking in that sense. So now I'm going to go in and I'm kind of reassert that collar right there that we had. There we go. Now I'm going to tilt it so you guys can see. And you can see how we're starting to make this figure reveal itself. There we go. And then I've got, of course, I can do fun things like this. Just sort of give myself a little bit of a fun edge right there, like an edge light. That's stuff that's just a fun part of what we do. And then have that wrapping that's coming around right there. And then I think there's another one that kind of cuts in front right there, just to make that sketch come alive. You see what I mean? That's the stuff that really starts to make it fun. So now, we take my same brush right here. And the cool thing about painting her is that she's not really alive. We'll see how far I can go on this brush before I switch. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to put her forehead in. And I'm going to take that. It's a little, my viscosity is a little off. That's a little bit runny. So let me see here. I'm going to go in and put that brow line in. That in. That in. And then it goes back, another angle for her jaw. And then that right there. That right there. And then that right there for her lip. And then back again as we start to figure out where we're going to put her chin. And then the jaw going forward like that. Sorry if I'm blocking it, guys. And then we're going to start thinking about where we're going to put her ear in there. And then underneath here, there's going to be a little bit of a highlight right there under her neck. And I want you just to take a look at how we're starting to put her into this situation. What's up, Past Master Dan? How are you doing, my friend? It's great to see you. Michelle Bowers is here. Paulus Arts is here. Paulus Arts, how are you doing? Let me see who else I missed. I've missed so many people. Let me see. A Man Called Plush is here. It's incredible that you can tell it's the bride before the detail is added. You're absolutely right. And I've talked about Lepresti Raid. What's up, Lepresti people? How is Aaron doing? Diaphanous is always the way to go. Always the way to go. So my biggest rule and my biggest bit of advice I give everybody, Nomad Damon gifted 1 membership. Thank you, Nomad Damon. Let me get a cheerleader going while I clean my brush. My God, hail Nomad Damon. Charge! Look at you, beautiful people. Now I want you to take a look at this. I don't know how long I've been painting on this, including putting, paint down onto the palette. But you can start to see already how we can start to rough this thing in. The big rule of thumb, and by the way, I can always knock it back, but I really love to let the kind of crazy, red happen there on that black canvas because it makes it a little bit scarier, a little bit more fun for Halloween. And I enjoy, celebrating Halloween and this holiday because it's just such a fun time of, especially up here in New England. Let me see what I have here. Okay, so I've got a little brush here. I'm going to see what this brush does. I don't think I've used this brush before, but I'm going to get out a little bit of a smaller square brush and see what we can do. And like I said, I hope everybody is doing well. Let me show you something creepy too, even before I do that. Have you noticed how even the palette is starting to look like the Bride of Frankenstein? Isn't that kind of creepy? The palette is like an abstract Bride of Frankenstein. Pretty wild how that works, but that is what it does. So let's see here. So now I'm going to grab this and I'm going to start mixing. What's up, Soul Curialt? How are you doing? So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to mix in a little bit of the white. Now this has gotten a little bit too much water in it. And when that happens, there is no need to panic. Just put a little bit more pigment in there. A little bit more green. Don't be afraid to get more paint if you need it. And remember, when you're adding on to a painting that you're starting from dark to light, like this one, you may think what you're about to add is a very dull, dark color, but always make it a little bit darker than you think you need to, because it will reveal itself when you put it on there. What's up, Comics Legend? Hi, Shanth. Any tips in... Oh, gosh, it just jumped. Any tips in painting with acrylics and matching mixed colors? I have found that you mix the color of paint, it dries different color, and it's hard to match when you have it. Yes. 2 rules I will always say about working in acrylic. Number 1, the primary rule, is do not use a lot of colors, because then it's easier for you to figure out how to mix back what you had. Rule number 2, work fast and try to get it done as much as you can in one sitting. Not only is that going to help you in terms of selling your work and having a career for your work, but it's also going to get you more experience. Now, I'm not talking about rushing, just to be clear, because I know a lot of people sometimes they're like, look, I did this really fast. And you think, well, it looks like it was done really fast. What I'm talking about is working deliberately. Do you see how I'm placing my brush strokes? I'm observing my subject matter very carefully, and I'm being deliberate. I'm spending a lot more time mixing on my palette than I am on the actual canvas. When I get to the canvas, it's very decisive and it's very deliberate. So I'm thinking about the cheekbone. I'm thinking about that side of the cheekbone right there, the lead's edge of the cheekbone. I'm thinking about the bridge of the nose and when that's going to come into play. And if you know Elsa Lancaster, you know she's also got a very sort of prominent lower end of her nose that's part of where she gets her likeness from. And so I'm going to let those colors mix. Do you see how that starts to put it together? What's up, Apex Comics? How are you doing, my friend? And so what I'm doing is I'm putting this stuff in from the standpoint of, and flat brush, because the biggest thing that people run into when they're painting is that they flatten things out, they box things out, and they curve things too much. And when in doubt, angle it out. When it comes to anatomy, if you can make a curve into a straight line, do it, and your figure will have a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? It'll be a lot more direct. You know, it's the quickest distance between, or the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And so don't be afraid to let the angles happen. Do you see what I mean when you're looking at this? And by the way, I'm working on a disposable palette, and that's good, to know, because a disposable palette is not a wet palette. It's not giving me the ability to keep the paints wet from underneath. Mixing the right viscosity, getting the right water to pigment ratio with acrylics. And I talked a little bit about that, I use water as my primary medium, is what's going to allow it to last and allow it to have its energy. Now, the problem I'm having right now, just in terms of on camera, is it's blowing out those values a little bit too much. So I'm going to actually make them darker to see if that helps what it looks like on the camera, even if it's affects it how it looks in person. I would rather have it be something you guys can see a little bit of. So there you go. And again, the paint is going to glide. It's not going to be gummy if you've got that right viscosity down. So now I'm going to take a look at some of the highlights on her ears. We're not going for perfect anatomy at this point. We're going for the essence of the angles in the ear. Do you see what I mean? Hear me out, Frau Bucher. And I'll take the one in the toy bin. One of the all-time great lines. Love that movie. So now there's a highlight under her neck in this photograph. And so it leaves a little bit of a triangle right there. And then it cuts back. I probably cut into it a little bit too much, but I can always go back in, or I can always go with the darker color over it, but I just want to get that angle sorted out right there. And then let me mix up a little bit of a darker color right there. There we go. That's a little better. And then go down like that right into there. And now we're kind of getting to the collarbone and the shoulders right there. And all of this stuff is to help us understand what we're looking at. Now, I know that her flesh tone is not going to be as dark as her hair, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Boy, that is a very light color. Let me get something much darker. I'm going to take the that particular area of shadow, and I'm going to hit it with a slightly lighter color right there. And that's going to help me to go in and reassert that shadow that's underneath her neck right there that I kind of lost a little bit of. There we go. Kind of put that in there. There we are. And now, grab another bit of a little bit of a darker color here. We're just going to make sure that we get enough of those shadows in her neck. I don't want it to be as contrasty as I had it. And there you're going to start to see how she starts to come together. Do you see what I mean? Now, when you're looking at ears, she's a corpse. That's a bit of a problem for us. When you're looking at ears, one of the things you have to remember is to put warms inside the ears, the nose, and all of that stuff. If I'm working from a black and white photograph, but if this was an actual living person who was, not in black and white film, the ears are going to have light pass through them because they are skinnier. There's a lot less meat there. And so any place where light passes through, including the nose, the hands, you're always going to paint those redder and warmer than they look. And that's one of the keys to giving that sort of believability. So if this was a regular person, I'll treat it like that for now. If this was a regular person, I would let there be a little bit more warms in the shadows. Big mistake people make that makes figures look dead, so probably I shouldn't be doing this, is they put cools in the shadows and warms in the highlight, when in reality, the opposite is true when it comes to skin. You want to put your warms in the shadows and your cools in the highlights. There we go. There we go. So this is the thing that I see a lot of art school students struggle with. I can hear Thumper in the next room doing his thing. The rabbit. Let me see here. Let me clean that up just a little bit. There we go. Then we're going to go right in there. And you can start to see, and make sure I'm still on camera, you can start to see how we can rough this in and get kind of a sense of what the painting is going to be. All right. So I'm getting too into the local colors. I just realized something always important to remember is when you run out of color, remind yourself to add more color. Remind yourself to add more color. So I've got absolutely no black left. And so I'm trying to do certain things with value, and I'm realizing I don't even have the paint to mix with. So here we go. It's hard to get dark when you don't have the dark color you're using. So let me mix that back up. There we go. That's what we're after. That's what we're after. So I just saw a little color that hadn't been mixed through in there that was about to cause me some trouble. So now let's go and put those darks I was trying to put in before. There we go. Much nicer. Make sure you guys have a decent angle there. We get a little bit more water in there. Just so there it is. Now look at how much nicer that goes down. You don't want the paint to be dragging. Your viscosity is off if your paint is dragging. And when you're working on a ground that you've already painted on, oh, there it is, there it is. Look at that. When it's on a ground you've already painted on, then you're dealing with the fact that you're working on a little bit of a moister background there, which can cause you a little bit of headache. So you want to make sure you're mindful of that and that changing. There it is. It doesn't feel like a painting to me when the paint isn't moving and I'm not seeing that quality to it. Do you see how? Let me see if I can get you guys a little closer. Look at this without the shine. No, not so much. I have to let that dry for just a second, but let's see where it happens. If you look right there, do you see how things start to move? That's what it's about. You can see the paint moving. Now, part of the reason I'm running into some of these things with the paint moving is because I went and started using a smaller brush. And I think I said this at the top, but I want to make sure I say it again. Smaller brushes do not solve problems. Smaller brushes make problems. Big brushes solve problems. So let's go back to the brush that I've done the majority of this painting with, and let's do it. Let's have some fun with this stuff, man. Come on. That's what we're doing. It's Halloween. Halloween coming up. Everybody's like getting ready for Halloween. I think Halloween starts at the end of August. What's up, Eric? How you doing, brother? Hey, Mike, how you doing? Look at all you crazy people in here. This should look familiar to Eric. He was watching me do this earlier today. All right. So now, let's see what we can do here. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of green with this big brush right here. And I need more green. Using 4 colors here. 4 colors. Let's do this. Do not be afraid of acrylics. People worry about how fast acrylics dry, and I completely understand it. I used to be that way. And now I just have learned how to get the viscosity right, which is what people got to be teaching that for people to know it. Getting the viscosity right makes it less of a problem. So here we go. Let's get a little bit of highlights on my lady's hair here, Ilsa Lancaster, who a lot of people, if you don't know this, the actress who played the Bride of Frankenstein is the middle-aged, would we say? I don't even know. Everybody looks like a kid to me now. But is the nanny who quits at the start of Mary Poppins. So, who is trying to hand in her letter of resignation. She leaves, and that's what leads to Mary Poppins coming. And let me just let a little bit of play happen right there. There we go. If your paint viscosity is solid, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to do fun things with it. You see what I mean? I love that feeling, even if it's not where the painting's going to ultimately go. I love when I have the viscosity of the paint right that I can do things like that. Do you see what I mean? Look at how fun that gets to be. And oh, look at that. I just grabbed a little bit of red, like the background. I don't know, it's just, I wish you guys could see that better. It's, I'm going to find a better angle. Hold on a second. Let me see if I move this a little bit. Will it help? Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, right there. Look at that for a moment in terms of like how that's kind of playing around and playing together. Really nice. So now I'm going to grab some more black paint right here. Kind of bring this back in and just kind of assert those darker values right there. And here's where she starts to come together. All right, so let's do a little bit more mixing here with the paint. And then I'm going to put in, let's see. Oh, you guys can't see anything. Hang on, I got to fix the camera. There, is that a little better? There we go. What's up, Tammy D? How are you doing? It's good to see you. Let me see here. Hail, what's up, Alpha Channel? Chalmers, oh, I'm missing so many people doing this, but I got to focus a little bit on this so I can show you guys what I mean. So now that you've got this, I'm going to go in, I'm going to take this highlight and bring it around. There we go. And then start right here for the neckline of this. There's a little angle right in there too, so let me grab that. There we are. There we go. There we go. And then bring this across. There. So here is where we start to get our bride coming together. And so now that we start to have her in there, what I can do is I can start to really let those highlights that we have happening, I can start to play around with those. Because we know that she's wearing white fabric, and the white fabric is not going to, we can do a lot of different things with it, but it doesn't have to stay this dark as it is for the silhouette. I gotta keep moving this where you guys can see it. There we go. Gotta keep checking my camera angle here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start putting in some little bit of lighter values right in there. They're not dark, but they're lighter shadows, if that makes sense. Just so we can kind of get that sense of play. And this is a really cool photo because they've got the fabric draped everywhere. There we go. There we are. Love doing stuff like this. And now I'm going to take black paint. Oof, I need a new palette paper. Take some black paint and I'm going to start kind of just giving some edges right there on her. Remember, the faster, when you're painting, particularly when you're using acrylics, it's a really good idea to get yourself in a groove where you're roughing in the big forms first and things will hold together so much better. So much better. So I'm going to let that dark come right up so I can frame her a little bit better. Right there. Right there. Right there. There we go. There we are. And so here she is starting to come together. Now, welcome home, Mrs. Enjeti. Now what I have to do is give you guys a good look at where we're at right now. So this right here is the base that we have for how it works. This is the structure. Oh, a little bit of buffering right now. Not sure why it'd be buffering. Hopefully not too much. What's up, Leg Kick 1? How you doing? Let me catch up with the chat. Okay, so a little buffering. What's up, Leg Kick 1? Mark's Music Obsession. Let me see. Hey, Alpha Channel. Jeremy Burtz is here. We see Art of Dominique is here. Mikey is here. Everybody's saying hello. Michael Bancroft is here. Tammy D is here. Grey Wolf is here. My gosh. Hello, everybody. My gosh, you guys are doing a better job of saying hello to everybody than I am. Tammy is here. Good to see all of you cats and kittens here in the chat. 107 people watching. We're going to try to do some more painting. So what are we at right now? So we've been going for about, just in terms of the start, about 48 minutes. So a big rule of thumb I like to use is when you're working, try to get 80% of the work done in the first 20% of the time. Let me see if I can, I feel like there's a way if I move this. There we go. That's a little better. I think you guys can see the painting a little bit more. But try to get, now the problem is, can I see it? Because the camera is, the back of this thing, as you can see, is like touching my face right now. So one of the things, can we move this over just a little bit more? There we go. Enjoying the painting tutorial so far. Random McRanderson, I'm so glad. Great to see you, man. Catalyst Vault says, hail, Professor. Hail to you. So, all right. So now let's get into some of the nitty gritty and see if that's where the wheels fall off the wagon. But that's the fun part of it. Okay, so now I'm going to get a little round brush, or synthetic round acrylic brush, and I'm going to start taking a look and seeing how I can put in some features on her. So let me look, and I think about the angles. So this right here, these are, gosh, those are some serious fake eyelashes she's got, by the way, in case anybody is wondering whether Miss Lancaster had fake eyelashes on. Let me assure you she did. And then water is the only medium I'm using. So water and heavy body acrylics. Okay. Now here, big mistake a lot of people make when they're painting around eyes and painting eyes in paintings is they make them too white. So I'm not going to put a highlight where the eye whites are. I'm going to put my highlights on the underside of the eyelid and on where the cheekbone and the anatomy comes into the nose. Emphasis again on angles. Remember that. Remember to keep your angles going at all times. There we go. Just going to let that paint. As long as you have a good ground and you're mixing only the colors you started with, which is red, green, white, and black, you're going to have a much easier time doing this kind of stuff. What's up, Bruce Campbell's Chin? How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Let me see what else we got here. All right, so let me take a look at this again. Go back to my reference photo. And again, when you're dealing with black and white reference photos, those are really great to do studies of in terms of doing limited palette color studies, because you are kind of making it up and it helps you to just think, okay, I'm just going to use a limited palette for this. So here we go. Bring that down. Now I'm going to bring her lower lip forward. Right there. Bring this around. And then grab a little bit of white to put back in there where her teeth would be. Then have a little bit of a highlight right there. There's some wild lighting on her, and she's got that white, that kind of stark white makeup on too, which is fun. Yeah, what a great character. Created by the great Jack Pierce, who also did the Boris Karloff Frankenstein monster makeup. And Jack Pierce had this, was inspired by Nefertiti and her, is that who it was with the giant headpiece that comes back? And so that's who this was inspired by. That's why her hair looks like that headpiece, for those of you guys who are curious. There we go. Just going to have a nice little fun highlight there for a start. There we go. The toughest thing is always going to be the camera to see so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Just a little tricky. It's going to make things a little bit more contrasty, but I'll go in and try to work with what the camera is showing you so that we can make those highlights work. There we go. Sort of blend that back just a little bit. There we go. So now we're starting to kind of rough her face in. And that's what it is. Damn, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's the main thing, right? Is I want to make this a little bit more. Yeah, you can totally see that connection. You're absolutely right. And welcome, Corey Landis. Yeah, it's you want to be able to get past all of you guys who are interested in this kind of stuff and interested in playing around with paint. You want to be you want to put yourself in a situation where you're a lot more relaxed with the materials. And the way to get relaxed with the materials is to use them how they're meant to be used. And you want to paint, you don't want to be drawing with your acrylics, you want to be painting with your acrylics. I love she's got this wild little highlight on her nose. It's so hard to capture. She had a really interesting nose in terms of her her profile and even the front view. It's a little tricky to paint. So now let's see here. That goes up, and I want to make sure I get a little bit more of that. And I think I made, this is the fun thing about painting, I think I made her lips come up. I didn't leave enough space there. So let's move those down. And remember that when you're practicing painting, try to keep yourself from having a pencil drawing that you're working over or a line drawing you're working over. Try to get used to making things happen with the paint, and it will do you a lot of favors down the line. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to go in with a darker red. What's up, Edwin Drawing Ace? How are you doing? It is good to see you. Everybody saying hello to Ace. Now, fun thing about doing these demos and why a lot of teachers, I think I was telling Eric this today, the reason why teachers don't do demos, besides not knowing how to paint, which is sometimes the case, is because you don't know how it's going to go when you start. So you just kind of start and go, I hope this works out. There we go. And now I'm going to go just get a nice little edge under there. And she's going to start to kind of show up a little bit. Now, for the whites of the eyes, I talked about this a little bit before, but I just want to drive that point home. Make it darker than you think it is, and let that get darker. The other thing I'm realizing I've left out, which really is important for her, is the eyebrows that Jack Pierce did for Elsa. So let me see here. There we go. Get those in there a little bit. And now what I want to do is We are missing a slacker named Rocky. Is he not here? What is up, Seeker of the Moon? How are you doing? Just doing a little bit of fun Halloween painting. And it's great to have you here, my friend. So now I'm going to go in here because I just want to make those a little bit thinner right there. And it's really tough when I'm painting. I sometimes I like right there what the paint did. I love that. Like I want to leave certain things like that, but I have to see how it goes when we get to that point where I'm thinking about that kind of stuff. Just reassert a couple of angles and let the brush, kind of do what it's going to do there just a little bit. Alrighty, so let me see here. So let me see where I'm at right now. Okay, so now she needs a little bit more forehead, judging by the likeness that I want to make sure I put in there. She had a really, I mean, I don't know if it was the hair and the makeup job, but she really did have a great face for this. I know it was her face actually because she's in the beginning of the movie without any makeup on except for glamour makeup pretending to be Mary Shelley. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see what I want to do now. There we are. Okay, so now I'm starting to kind of get a sense of where she is. I get the occasional happy accident, but I admire how comfortable with knowing it's going to happen. Well, this is the aspect of it, right? You said it best right there, my friend. It is about not getting stressed out by those things. I think that one of the things I learned when I was teaching a lot when I first started doing demos, I got why people didn't do them, why teachers didn't do them, and I actually started having some former students who began teaching, going, "I did a demo today." And oh my god, it went terrible. It just got to be bigger and bigger and bigger of a mess. And if the idea of doing a demo in front of a lot of people and having it go sideways still can make you laugh, you've got what it takes to do demos. And I laugh more often than not. Like I'll look at things and I'll go, okay, well that's not working. What do I do now? And that's the place that you always want to make sure you're keeping yourself having a good time with it and not over stressing about it, because after all, it's painting, and that's the fun thing about it, is that you want to keep it light, because why people pay us and become channel members and super chats, and thank you guys so much who are channel members. You help so much. And super chats now are apparently not going to be taxed, which is really, really great. That's what they're trying to push through anyway. But the thing is that you guys are paying me and tuning in to watch me so that I can actually make it a fun experience and a fun, lighter experience. So I get to laugh and have fun with it, and we see where it goes together. We see where it goes together. Pack it up and send it south. Or listen, man, you let me know what you want to do on this. Somebody, and that's what I'm also going to say at the end of all these streams. If somebody wants to pick up the painting, you just let me know. The main thing is I want to just get a little bit more information out there about what's possible with acrylics. There's a lot of people who have a lot of ideas about, like, oh, this is what you can do with acrylics. And I think that what we're missing oftentimes is that starting period of painting where someone's introducing you from zero to go. And so here we go. And again, I'm working with red, green, cadmium red, vivid lime green, and white and black. Those are the only colors that we're using right now. So we don't have to stress about it. There's no reason to stress because we know what those colors are. So if we start saying, oh gosh, how did I mix this color? Well, there's only a few combinations it can have. It's got to be some combination of red, green, black, or white. And that's what makes the process of remixing colors a lot less stressful, for that matter, is because you know that it's only a couple of colors. There's only a few. It's like Now, I have seen some people not understand the true, potential horror of something as complicated as trying to guess a 4-digit code. But it's not that difficult because you can kind of see with your eyes where the colors are lining up. Do you see what I mean? So this is the stuff where I start to have so much fun when I'm working, because I just kind of get to move things around all the time. And then if I see a place where I'm like, ooh, what could I do? What might I do there? Um, yes, exactly. They always say don't use black. I actually cracked up myself by telling my students, pal, I'm so glad you said that, Comics Legend. This is the funniest thing I think I've ever done when I was teaching. I got so tired of students saying don't use black because Anders Zorn with his Zorn palette used cadmium red, yellow ochre. I believe it was titanium white. I could be wrong. I might have been a zinc white, and then ivory black, or I think it was ivory black. And so he used black as a part of his paintings. And so whenever my students would say it, at this one point I started saying, yeah, your teachers tell you not to use black and just to mix a dark color. But, I mix my own white. And they were just like, you do? How do you do that? Oh, oh my goodness. I couldn't resist it. They made me do it. They made me do it. Um but yeah, you actually there's so many different colors of black too as well that you can't really get black by mixing a bunch of colors together. You'll get a dark, but you won't get a black. And so what I think people should do when they're first of all, people should stop saying that advice as just a rule. Don't use black. What they should say is use take when you use black, mix a color into it. See what it does. It's such a great color. But you don't want to overuse any color, and white and black you certainly don't want to try to overuse, because where you focus, where your eyes go into focus, is where the area of highest contrast is. And if the area of highest contrast is everywhere, then you don't have a dynamic painting, and you don't have not dynamic painting, you don't have an aesthetic painting, I think is the word we should always use. So let me just drop in a highlight there for the ear, because I always love to do a nice little earlobe highlight, if that makes sense. Do you guys see what I mean right there? What's up, Cursed Heart Creations? How are you doing? It's good to see you. Well, look, this is going to be an opportunity for those of you guys who are interested in understanding painting and looking at painting to watch me do these. Oh God, help me. So let me go back. For those of you guys who don't know, I have 2 comics currently crowdfunding on Indiegogo. One of them is pretty much close to going to the printer. I'm just trying to tighten up a few paintings for it and a few sketches for it. And that's called Nosfero the Cryptwalker. So if you haven't backed that book, check out the links in the description. So let me start by saying that. I also have another comic book called Springball Terminal Monstrosity, which has been, I think, our biggest and fastest hit in terms of all of our crowdfunding, including the art books, which are available on the Nosfero campaign in limited quantities. So yeah, so a lot of exciting stuff has been going on. A lot of exciting stuff has been going on. Let me get that out of the way first, and then what was I going to also say? Yes. So, um, what I am attempting to do whenever I'm doing these streams, and one of the things I've been really thinking about is, I want to do I want to see if I can get my Bob Ross on with this stuff. And I've been putting it off for a while, but I had an interesting experience when I went to go for yesterday was, for those of you guys late here, yesterday was my 49th birthday. Holy cow. Never thought I would still be around as a result of my excitement during my misspent youth. Lord knows I was in that wrong car way too many times with the wrong folks. But not saying it wasn't fun, just saying I was in that car. But I went to go see the movie Jaws, and it was an amazing experience. Mrs. Enjetti took me to go see it on an IMAX screen. It was so much fun. But when I went to go see Jaws, one of the things that was really bizarre is it was near where I went to school. Oh, thank you, Krabby Patty. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was near where my wife and I went to college, and as I was leaving the theater, I heard 2 students, probably current students from where I went to college, talking about Jaws as they were going out, and they go, "Why was that guy Quint they were talking about, such an idiot. I mean, he destroyed the engine, he, destroyed the radio and all this sort of stuff. And they go, I think it was a critique of Western imperialism. And I was sitting here, oh, thank you so much, Vincent. I appreciate that, my friend. And as I was watching it, as I was listening to them say that, oh, there you go, in December. Word. Mark, you're like right between me and my big brother. And as they were saying that, I was thinking to myself, did you watch the movie though? Before you tried to figure out if there was a subtext, did you just watch and enjoy it? Because it really is largely, I mean, maybe there's some subtext. I mean, I know there's always can be subtext in there, but I think the biggest point of that movie was there's a damn shark out there. You know what I'm saying? Anybody get what I mean when I say that? Like the shark aspect of it? And then, of course, hopefully you have empathy for these very complicated and interesting, flawed characters that are all out there together trying to do their best in a tough situation. Yeah, it was him or the shark. You're absolutely right. But that really kind of struck me. And I think that the act of watching a movie, the act of actually just watching a movie is something that's lost on people, just like the act of art is not an act that tires out your vocal cords. It's an act that should, of course, tire out your eyes and your hand. That's pretty much what it is. This is where that stuff happens, is on the paper. It's a physical act, you know. Yes, the shark was an allegory for Marxist philosophy. You're right. You're absolutely right, Random McRanderson. Hale, good to see you, man. Yes, when the hero says close the beach, close the beach. It's absolutely right. Why can't the shark be the good guy? I'm sure someone is writing a doctoral thesis on that right now somewhere. You know what's happening. But because what's so cool is that the role of the shark in that movie is that unstoppable and very kind of fanciful in terms of how it was how it looked and how it was used in that movie. It's us versus essentially death. But the main thing is, do you feel a connection with the characters? Do you feel a connection with the story? And the thing about painting is, make a painting that's aesthetic and that people get excited by and they want to buy, they want to purchase. When I'm doing comics, it's the exact same thing. I'm always thinking about that I want to make something that people want to buy first and foremost. And boy, did Steven Spielberg sell movie tickets with that flick. Same with Alfred Hitchcock with Psycho. That's what it comes down to. First and foremost, you're trying to make something aesthetic. And that's what the great Jack Pierce, when he was designing the makeup for Elsa Lancaster as the bride, right here was doing. He was trying to make something that just hit you in the gut and made you go, wow, I think I'm going to be buying an action figure that 100 years in the future. Yep, the slim people on the beach are all right propaganda. I have to tell you something. The amount of kids and healthy, skinny people it went after, man, that was scary. That was scary. Yeah, the shark was just saying, "Get off my lawn." I agree, 100%. That was like a home invasion if you really think about it. That's his home. They're just going in there and drinking, Narragansetts. Oh, look at that! So much fun. Okay, I'm noodling a little too much with the face here. So let me take a look at a few more things I want to do here that are fun. I also got to get to those little crazy squiggles in the hair, which I'm putting off. Yes, I use reference for my paintings. I've got a reference photo open right now in front of me. And what I'm always trying to do is, particularly when I'm doing something like this, although the image you saw in the thumbnail was a painting I was doing, a demo I was doing for Eric Weathers of a lioness, and then I just sort of just went nuts on it. So I am going to do some examples of me just painting out of my head, but for this, I kind of wanted to have some reference and just see where it took me. But very good question. And when I'm doing figure work or pinup work or things like that, I will typically sketch out what the layout of what I want, and then I try to find some photo reference for it because I'm working with too small a brush in too big of an area, and you don't want to do that. You want to have more grace, more energy. go. I love doing stuff like that. It's so fun. It just gives it, I don't know, it gives it a little bit of character there. Very fun. Okay, so now, as we start to put this together, the shark represented the Minotaur and the cast as well. Oh, wait, sorry, the Minotaur, the cast, well, the cast of Initiates. Yeah, well, that was one of the things I loved about that, or love about that movie, is the, what's the word I'm looking for? Is just the ensemble cast in that is just fantastic. They're so good. I mean, Robert Shaw is great in so many ways more than even just his the Indianapolis speech. She does need a katana. I agree. She does. Where's Billy Tucci? So let me see here. Let me see what I want to do. I don't think I want to do this exact. I think I want to have fun with it. Oh, it's so fun. I love doing stuff like this. So fun. There we go. Use the brush that looks like a finger. Just put that in there. And then a little bit right there. Oh, that's so fun. Love that sort of stuff. It might be diaphanous. I actually don't know. It's tough to say. I think it was in the flick. I think it was in the flick. Let me just take a look at this at an angle. All right. So now let me see. The basic ancient storytelling retold. Yeah. I mean, well, you know, Timmy, that the genius of those stories is that there are these timeless stories, and I think we needed it. When you read the novel, which is not anything like the movie at all. I mean, the characters are all very gray, very flawed, if not very dead by the end of the story. It was very much of its time. And what I love about the movie is the movie, why it was such a huge hit, is it gave us something that we didn't know we needed. It turned it into this buddy adventure story instead of a bunch of people who didn't care for each other trapped on a boat trying to kill a shark, and that was rather brilliant the way that Spielberg put that together. And what was cool is also though seeing Benchley make a cameo appearance as a newscaster in the flick. I thought that was very cool. But it's the book is interesting, but to me it's very 70s, and I don't mind that. But it's just the what makes it a great story. I mean, if in as in the book, if Chief Brody's wife is having an affair with Hooper, then your feelings of Hooper when they're on that boat together justify him getting killed in the shark cage in the book. But it really changes your vibe of his entire family when you're like, oh, she's having an affair with this guy he's out on the boat with. Oh, I don't know how I feel about her anymore. There we go. Oh, that's fun. I like how that stuff comes together. Let me see here. Now, so it kind of thins out just a little bit as it goes back. Don't want to change it. I'm not worried about it being too much. I'm not worried about getting it like to look like the exact one because I love that line. I want to let it sort of be the painting. I wonder what would happen. I've never done this before, so if this goes sideways, I apologize. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. Just taking a little bit of the dark and then just moving it through there. Just gives it a little bit of that silver streak. Oh, I like that. That's kind of cool. It does look like Frau Blücher, though. I think you're right. Or Bucher, I forget. I forget which one it is now. Do you guys see what I mean? It's so fun to play around with this stuff and to kind of get to see the painting and see the process. So I'm going to try to do as much of this stuff as I can. I'm going to try to do one of these shows every now and again. And I'm going to do, my plan is this week, come hell or high water. I'm just not sure if I should do it on like a Friday night or do it on a Thursday night, because I feel like Thursday night is a really tough night. And also, I don't know if people are as ready for it as they might be on a Friday, but I want to get back to Pizza Live with Night of the Living Dead. For sure. That's one of my plans. So there you have it. I have it ready to go. I just have to find the time and the energy, because I'm getting so much stuff ready with Nosfero, getting that ready for print. Let's see here. Let me see. All right. And let me see if I can see my reference. I've like got so many screens open here. And then I picked up a ton of red accidentally. And this water is definitely getting to, got too much paint in it, but. Okay. Let's see. That kind of go into shadow. That kind of go into shadow. That go like that. Oh, I hope you guys can see this. Sorry, it's like hard to keep my wrist in a pose where you guys can see this. Goes down. Then we're gonna let that highlight come up. There we are. It's fun. Gotta make those sound effects. Bob will tell you that. There we go. There we go. That's fun. Now let's try. Just gonna push that edge right there. There we go. See, Bob Ross didn't have a chat. Can I just point that out? I mean, you know, he's still the GOAT, but my God. Let me see here. All right, so we're getting a little bit of that quality, that lovely, fun, sketchy quality that we're going for here when we're looking at this painting. So let me see if I can show you what I mean. So it's just a fun way to think about paint. And think about your paintings when you're working, guys, as just a chance to explore and not to put, like, you want to learn stuff while you're painting, but don't make it, you know, it's got to be the greatest end all be all every time you sit down to paint, because it's not going to be fun for you, and it's not going to probably get much, you're not going to get much quality out of it. But if you look at something like this, where I'm just kind of playing around with the paint, trying to figure things out, trying to see, okay, well, like, what do I want to do here? And how do I do this here? And how do I get this effect? Having a timed painting like this, where you say, okay, listen, I don't have 12 hours to learn how to paint, or I don't have 12 hours to do whatever, but maybe if I have 45 minutes, maybe if I have an hour, maybe if I have just a certain chunk of time I can carve out and just kind of push the paint around and see what happens and see where it goes, we can get something that's really fun to see, and we can get something that, just is fun to watch, hopefully, for you guys painting. That's what I really ultimately am here to do. Is, so many people have been asking me about, are you going to do ever, any like educational stuff or any painting demo stuff? And I'm always saying, well, I don't know. I don't know where my head is with that yet. After all these, after all those years of teaching. And now, what I kind of came up with is I go, well, yeah, I think I should actually do this from that standpoint. So I just got a new palette because I decided not to be a glutton for punishment, so I could do some edge work on this. But let me know if this if this is uh, if this is helpful for you guys. Let me know in the chat if this is helpful, because if it is, we can do more of it. So I'm going to take this black right here. There we go. Just I absolutely, black is, I mean, it depends on what black you're using because there's a lot of different colors. But when black and red mix together, there is something really cool about it. It just, there's something about it because especially if it's a cad red in particular, because that's such a bright, warm red. I'm sorry, I just realized that you guys can't see that because the camera phone thing tipped. Let me see if I can do it like that. You guys can see what I'm doing. There you go. And so now, because I was telling you guys at the start of this that I love to leave some of that paint quality there, I'm gonna just take the flat edge of that brush, and I'm gonna let those edges. There we go. Let those edges go, because I want this to be just a really fun piece. Leaving those little bits like that red right in there, I really love stuff like that. I don't want to get rid of it. I want to keep it together. Like that little jagged red, see that little highlight right there? I don't want to get rid of that. That I want to leave. I just want to kind of get a little bit of just some edge to some of this stuff with the black paint, especially up here at the top, because that, I don't want it to be as playful as it is. So I'm going to just let it kind of, oh, there we go. And remember, here we are back again. Big brushes, or sorry, small brushes do not solve problems, they make problems. Big brushes solve problems. That's where the battle is won and lost. Really like that thin little line there that's been left. There's something really nice about it. And like right here, where you're seeing that kind of break happening with the paint, I like that. I want to leave that there. I don't want to get rid of that. And that's just that's an individual choice where you want those breaks to happen. There you go. Just put my thumb in some black paint there. Classic. Where, like, I'm running out of places to hold this thing. I don't know if you guys can tell. Oh my lord. All right. And then if you guys want me to, just let me know in the chat. If anybody's interested in buying this, I can do a quick auction on this thing. Let me know. I mean, maybe I should do that at the end of all of these streams, just so if people want to buy these things. But, I mean, that depends on if that depends on if I have somebody who's like dying for this thing. One of my kids are like, Dad, I want that. That's a tough call, but I don't think they want this, thank God. So if you guys are interested, I can do that. Just let me know in the chat. This is I think this is a 8 by 10 or 9 by 11. I don't even know what size this is. Just want to do a couple of more marks on this thing here. There we go. That's fun. Now I'm like holding it like a pizza pan, just to keep it from getting into trouble. I'm trying to rotate this thing. There we go. Oh, this will be perfect for someone to have for Halloween. Hang this up. The original Halloween painting. There you go. Very impressionistic. Very fun. Let me see here. Now let me give you guys a good view of it. I'm not sure if X will let me DM if the family. Oh, so the X. Don't worry about that. The family's good with me selling it. And yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you, man. But so here you go, guys. If somebody wants to make an offer on the painting, just give me a number. Say confirmed. If you guys are welcome to. Actually, I got to sign it too first. So while you're pondering that particular aspect of things, I got to make sure I sign this thing. What would Bob say if I didn't sign this thing? Let me see. He would be so disappointed in me right now. Or he would tell me it's my world. Let me see. Because you know Bob. Bob was good like that. Got a little round brush here. Except a nice little bit of red right there. $1 Bob. That's right. That's right. That happy buck. Let me see here. Oh yeah, you guys can't see that. Sorry. Hard to do holding it up. Sorry, banged my head on that. There you go. 2025. There it is. I haven't noticed what yet. There's many things I haven't noticed. Hail, Groku. Oh my gosh. Super chat $49 from Nomad Damon with a birthday cake. My God, Nomad Damon. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Holy cow. I got to get the official Who Done It murderer painting psycho scene. Nomad Damon, you're killing it. Here you go. Charge! Wow, Nomad Damon. Much. I got to do this again. It's got to happen again. Charge! You know, I don't know what to say. Thank you, Nomad Damon. You're awesome. That ain't a cheap birthday gift. No, it is not. You know, Jimmy the Lumberjack. You know it. Guys, thank you so much. If anybody wants to, what do you call it? If anybody wants to make an offer for this piece, you're welcome to do so. Just, you know, you can either reach out to me on X or you can put a number in the chat, confirmed, and if I know you, that's fine. I'll put my wife's PayPal in there. But yeah, so any general painting questions, feel free to ask away now while we wrap this thing up, because and I also want to send a special happy birthday out there to Ethan. He's born the day after not the actual day, but his birthday is September 3rd. Mine's September 2nd. So that's always a crazy thing. So happy birthday to the fellow Virgo. And just remember, guys, everything you saw me do here is water, 4 colors, putting this thing. Oh, you have it confirmed already. I missed it. Sorry. Let me go back. Where are we, Mark? My bad. An auction for it. My vision must be going, man. I'm telling you. Holy cow. Shanth, you should have a hashtag. Yeah, I guess Shanth. I am Shanth. Not sure UX will let me DM. No, it should let you DM. Oh, 100 confirmed. Yeah, there you go, man. There it goes. Yep, Mark's Music Obsession has $100 on this. There you have it. Super chat 199. Sup from Doc Brewski. Sup, Doc Brewski. How are you doing, man? I'm going to show you guys some fun stuff I'm working on. There you go, guys. If anybody wants to go up on 100, feel free and let me know. And other than that, Mark has got the high bid with that. And let me show you guys. I got Doc Brewski. I got to send this. Is he going to play? Come on, Doc. You deserve it.
Charge!
More than enough. You want to if you just throw in some like money for shipping, like 20 something bucks for shipping, that's absolutely fine, my friend. Absolutely fine. Happy birthday to the Frog Father, Big E, indeed. And let's see what else. What else was I gonna say, guys? Again, for all of you guys in the chat, thank you. Camera's not even on me. I'm leaning away from it. Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I've been working around the clock, getting stuff ready for No Sparrow and everything. It has just been nuts. And I just said to myself, you guys keep asking me about painting, and I was doing the demo. You can thank Eric Weathers for this. I was doing a demo for Eric, and I was like, do I have the energy I should do something like that, for on stream. I should start getting in the regular habit of just showing people like what it's like to push paint around, not knowing exactly where it goes. And Timmy Mello saying happy birthday to Phil Diaz as well right there. And I think someone else did. Was it Admiral Rackass? Yes. So there's two happy birthdays to Phil Diaz. And Mark's Music Obsession. Yeah, I will send you, I'll send you Lauren's. I'm pretty sure you can DM me. Let me double check, Mark, because now you got me nervous. Can you DM me? I feel like we've DM'd before. Who knows? At this point. God, I type so slow. What is it under? What is your handle, Mark? Shoot. Where is it? Mark, let me see. Mighty Geek Studios, what's up? It's good to see you. Let me know what I feel like I see your handle on my stuff all the time. Oh, there it is. Yes. DM works. I just got it, Mark. Yep. Absolutely works. All right, Mark. So let me do this. If you want to throw in like that's more than fine. If you want to throw in another whatever, like 20 bucks or so for shipping, that's fine. And I can get that to you. So let me just send you that. Oh my God. How does this work? Sorry, you're going to deal with a geriatric person here for a few minutes, and I'm going to get back to bit. Actually, I'll still be the same guy, but you'll see me because I'm going to go over a couple of things and say hello to you guys for a second. I don't know whether to scratch my watch or wind my behind at the moment. So I'm going to send the PayPal to you, Mark, in a DM now that I've got that. I thought it would work because I thought I was following you. There you go. All right, that hopefully will work. Hopefully you got that, Mark. Mark, I hope you got that. So yeah, guys. So what I'm going to try to do, my goal, one Virgo to another. Happy birthday, says Jimmy the Lumberjack. Happy birthday to you, my friend. We got a lot of Virgos, man. We have a ton of Virgos going on up in this place. So this is, already have used it before. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you sending that along. So yeah, guys, so I'm going to be doing this more often. Heck, I might even do this tomorrow, depending on how things go. And I am going to be getting the Pizza Live going again. I've got Night of the Living Dead ready to rock. I just got to make sure that I have that together. So let me show you some fun stuff, some progress. I need a sticky note for this. Not much better. Not much better. So this painting is coming along, and all right, Alpha Channel, thank you so much for the happy birthday, and you have a great time. Cool. Yes. Yeah, you've got it. Yep. You absolutely have it. Your B-Day was yesterday too. That's right, Cursed Heart Creations. I forgot about. God, I share birthdays with a lot of people, man. That's cool. So yeah, so this right here is coming along really, really great. Yeah, I should do Frankenstein tomorrow for sure. I also want to show you guys this. Hopefully this is dry enough. But this right here, this is where that print is right now. For it's the cover of Nosfero Death Will Die, but it's also going to be the print that comes with some of the books and also with the big collections that you guys do the all in on. So this is going to be. I'm so happy with how this thing is coming together. I don't know if you guys can tell. I was showing this to Weathers today, but awesome. Yes, sorry, Mrs. Enjetti, could you check your PayPal and see if Mark's money came through? Thank you, sweetheart. Mark knows. She goes, I trust Mark, Mark. Just so you know. There's love for you in this house, brother. So when I was working on this piece before, I was trying to oh, no kidding. You share a birthday, not year, with John Mayle. No kidding. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm just a little bit, I think I'm like a year older than John, but I'm not sure. Um all set, Mark. We got it. It's absolutely cool. So there you go. So this right here is absolutely something that I just came to, which was I wanted to, instead of having it be a straight up, I thought I should make this be a perspective shot. So I painted in these layers just to give you that upshot. Yeah, there was an auction for, I'm going to start doing an auction on this show. The auction won by Mark's Music Obsession. It was a speed auction, was for this, but I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to try to do this almost every single day I can. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to try to work even, work faster. I mean, I worked pretty fast today. But for those of you guys who want holiday paintings for the seasons for Halloween, maybe I'll do Frankenstein's monster tomorrow. Maybe that's what I'll do. But we're going to be doing a lot of fun horror stuff to celebrate October. And man, I tell you what, fun stuff. Maybe I feel this way because I missed, because I was doing stuff for my birthday on September 1st, the night before everybody goes back to school and work in our various cases. I missed hanging out with the Kings. I was really bummed out. And there was some really cool stuff, I guess, that came out of it. But yeah, here you guys go. And I loved the subject of The Last Kings on Monday. But so yeah, this is the painting right here. This is the acrylic on black canvas. I'm going to be doing one of these for Halloween. Like, there's so many things I think could be fun to do. You know what would be fun to paint, guys? I don't know if you guys like this character, but do any of you guys remember the movie Pumpkinhead? That could be really fun to do too. Do a Pumpkinhead painting, one of those like really cool creatures from that time period. But yeah, so this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing some really nice, painterly stuff so that people can learn how to acrylic paint. For those of you guys who are art collectors and love this kind of stuff, yes, I will absolutely take a picture of this and a scan of this and put it up there. Oh, I'd love to do a haunted man. Oh, you guys don't even know. Okay, so now you just started a whole story here. So for my kids, what was it? Their 10th birthday, maybe? I don't even know. Or no, it wasn't their 10th. I think it was like their 8th or ninth birthday. Oh, you like the Pumpkinhead movie? Yeah, I painted all of the stretching portraits, or four of the stretching portraits, maybe, from the Haunted Mansion in acrylic for their birthday the week before. And it was like, so we have paintings I did of my version of those stretching portrait paintings down in our basement, and I even did the cat girl painting, and I painted it in such a way that, because it wasn't lenticular, mine wasn't lenticular, I made it so that if you looked at it you could see it both ways, and it was so fun to do. But if you look up, let me move this over so while we're chatting, I gotta tell you guys, this came out really good. I wasn't so sure when we were halfway through it, but I'm really happy with it. But let me do this so you guys can see my house of horrors over here. And if you look right there and right there, you can see two of the busts from the Haunted Mansion. And if you look in front of them, you can see the little candle holders from the Haunted Mansion. You know, those little gargoyles that are in the Haunted Mansion. So yeah, this is a very, very decked out Halloween haunted fun place. And I invite you guys to come here. Every time I do a stream, you are going to come here, you hang out with me, we'll do some painting, we'll learn some stuff, and That's what I'm committed to doing right now, because I feel as though there's a real hunger and an interest for people uh to um to kind of just get their hands into the paint. Do you know what I mean? And if Timmy Mello, that's as good as gospel if Timmy Mello is suggesting it. It's the same thing with Frankenstein's monster, and I'm excited about it. Yeah, pumpkin head on a black canvas. It'd be sick. I've never painted it before, so that would be really fun. Can you do a double page spread painting, doing a double sided canvas, asking for a friend? Oh my gosh, that's a really good question. A double sided canvas painting. I mean, I suppose I could always glue two canvases together in that sense, like two canvas panels, I mean, together, so it would be a double-sided thing. Otherwise, I'd have to use something like gosh, like a masonite or something like that. But yeah, everything is possible, man. Oh, you have an Odin Dasco pumpkin head. Oh, that'd be great. He's an acrylic painter too, isn't he? He paints in acrylics. Did you paint that werewolf? Which one? No, I didn't, but I wish I did. That is a part of a shrine. So that was painted by the greatest monster artist of all time, Mr. Basil Gogos, God rest him, passed away 2012 or 13, I think. No, maybe it was 16 or 17, I'm not sure. Legend of Sleepy Hollow is another thing I love, as you guys can. Oh, you can't see. It's moved over. I have the Headless Horseman over there from where is it? There it is. I have the Headless Horseman up on that shelf by the Four Horsemen collectibles. I love their stuff. So that would be a really, really fun one. Yes, the Shanth collection goes, Mark. Grows. It absolutely does. So this was one of his last paintings, was the 2010 Wolfman. And then, of course, today, I don't even know where I put it. Oh, it's on the scanner. Hang on a second. I want to show you the thumbnail. So I did a demo for Eric today, and I didn't have a time to do a thumbnail for painting. I'll use this one for the thumbnail for the next stream and so on and so forth. But I don't have a thumbnail, so I was showing him how to do like an impressionistic painting of a lion, and so I did this. I took the lion painting that we were working on, and I just went nuts on it and did a quick like kind of werecat creature painting. So, oh, that's Skunk Artworks. Yes. Oh, they have a book together coming out soon. Well, there you go. Wow. Yeah, the creature's got to be in the front row, Mark. Millicent Patrick and Chris did such a great job. Um, which one? This one right here. This. Oh, wait, that one. Or that one's inspired by the Benicio del Toro 2010 werewolf movie. So that's based on Rick Baker's makeup. So, and this one's a little bit of a nod to the thriller Werecat. That's, look at that. No sooner said as comics legend comes in the clutch and goes, that reminds me of that. Heck yeah. So many people got into that dream of doing special effects from watching the making of Thriller. And I just love getting, I was already in a painting zone after I had to turn this into something. It started as a lion, but I was already in that painting zone. So I just sort of said, okay, I'm going to do a stream and I'm going to do some painting because, this stuff that we're doing, guys, it's, the stuff that we have the access to right now, which is to live stream and do this, opens up so many possibilities for us to put stuff out there that's educational. If you look in the description of this, yes, the Del Toro werewolf. Yeah, I mean it's totally that's what it is. And it's this is the crazy part of it. Is that we have the technology right now to where we can get the information out there. If you go into the description of this, um, the thing you're going to see is the list of all the paints, all the materials. Oh, you're getting the Basil Gogos book next month. So if you want to know what I use, the black canvases, what kind of brushes I use, more or less, but the exact colors I use that are my palette that I will be using the colors in, you can find all of that information in the description. You know? Oh yeah, I'll absolutely paint the creature. I've got to do an illustration painting of the creature for Mark's Music Obsession. That's what's going to be one of my things I think I'm doing for a head sketch. Thank you so much, Comics Legend. I'm so glad you like it. So glad you like it, man. Let's see here, and that'll be another thing I'll have up for sale at some point. I got to get that I'm going to get that Basil Gogos book next month. I bought the Akira 35th anniversary. Very cool. The other day, most of my fun money for next few weeks. Yes, well, yeah, that's a heck of a good book. I saw that stuff. Someone was showing that on stream. I can't remember. But also, let me say, I just got this in the mail today. For those of you guys who don't know, I did the trailer for Pigman for Bosch Fawston. I just reached out to him. I had an idea for a trailer. I said, Bosch, I'd love to do a trailer for you. He's like, all right, man. You know, awesome. Sent me some high res images, put that thing together, and I think it was just such a blast of a trailer. And so he was kind enough to do for me a drawing of Spring Ball. So I've got myself a signed Bosch Fawston Spring Ball illustration, rocking and rolling here. And so cool that he took the time to send this 11 by 17. Just really, really a gent, and glad to see him do it. But remember this, guys. What I'm always chasing with color is this genius right here. This man is the genius of monster painting. Just can't be touched. And when people talk to me about, my influences, and I'm sure you guys can see this now, people like Basil Gogos inspire me to push my colors further and further and further as far as I can. I mean, you want to talk about somebody. And let's remember this too, man. Yeah, Bosch did a great job, Jimmy the Lumberjack. He did a fantastic job. Let's get a sense of how well he knew how to paint too. He did Western pulp covers and portraits. He did war magazine and war illustration stuff. Incredibly accurate stuff, reference stuff. He did aviation and tank illustrations in addition to monsters. By the way, again, he was not a drawer, right? He was a painter. And there's a big difference because you see the energy and the expressionistic quality in this stuff. So when I paint, I try to paint, and I love to draw. Love to draw. But there's something so evocative about what Basil Gogos was doing in these World War World War II illustrations that he did. I think it's mostly World War II. There was some stuff he did that was like period accurate sort of stuff. But look at the tank. I know. Look at the tanks and the guns and things like that. It's just, I mean, the way that he did this stuff. Where's another example of some of his? He did a lot of kind of pulpier stuff too, but he would just go nuts with the color. Let's see if I can get that dang glare off of there. Oh, I know what I need to do. It's because I have it two lined up. Hang on. Ah, sorry for any motion sickness in advance. So I'm gonna do that, and then hopefully that will give me a decent 45 I can mess with here. Let's take. Well, it's only going to do what it does, but I feel like there's a way to do. I'll do it with this page over here. That's how I'll do it. So take a look at the craziness of the colors he was doing. Look at that. Look at that stuff. This guy is an American treasure, and that we lost him is heartbreaking. We've really got to get. I don't want to see, I want to see people get out media and start pushing this stuff around. Really going crazy with their colors. Look at this stuff. He inspired, by the way, do you want to know how big of an artist this guy is? I'll tell you how big of an artist this guy is. Take a look at that. Take a look at that King Kong right there. Shoot. If I fall out of my chair, just remember I always loved you guys. Remember me as I was, wild and free. NECA did a Basil Gogos inspired King Kong action figure. I have the regular King Kong action figure over there. This is the Basil Gogos inspired King Kong figure. NECA actually painted this. This is official. You could get this online. That's how big of an artist he is. You want to know something else? Universal's Epic Universe, right? This is so cool, this guy stuff. Universal's Epic Universe has a gift shop in it for all the Universal Monster stuff. They have an exclusive deal action figures there with NECA to produce, and NECA is producing these. Here's another Basil Gogos painting inspired Dracula. They even painted the brush strokes. Craziness. Yeah, Basil crushes it. But the fact that they took Basil Gogos paintings and really tried to bring them to life in 3D shows you when you have an action figure based on your paintings. I mean, who else has that? Frazetta has that. You know what I mean? Oh my God, man. Thank you, Jimmy the Lumberjack. 2025 has been just a great year, man. It's been a great year for me, and I'm so excited about all the stuff I'm doing. It's a ton of work, but it's all just a blast. Check this out. Absolutely insane. Look at the glass in the background. Like the little beakers. You know what's crazy is as much as I love what he's doing with these figures, take a look at what he did with that back there. The little glass, whatever it is, the lab equipment. I don't know what you would call that, but take a look at that. Look at those, how painterly and paints, like it's so good. In case you're wondering what it was like when I was, teaching college, can you imagine? This is what it was like. Peter Cushing. Look at this face. So terrifying, so great. Are you guys ready? Some of you guys fasten your seatbelts, okay? If you fasten your seatbelts. Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla by Basil Gogos. If you have it, you can sell it. You will be working internationally. Just look at that stuff, man. And then, of course, you've got one of the most famous lost films of all time, London After Midnight, and that beautiful, creepy, awesome painting. That's what it is. I love this. There's Glenn Strange as the monster, famous, of course, as the actor of the monster in What Aaron Lopresti is wrong that he hates this movie. Graham Nolan and I are right. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein and the Wolfman. We love you, Aaron. Then Ingrid Pitt from The Vampire Lovers from Hammer Horror Films. And that is I know Ingrid Pitt is the inspiration for one of my characters in, or the main villainess in Nosferatu the Cryptwalker. So I'm a big, actually, what can I show of her? Because she's not always the most clothed figure in my book. Oh, that's always tricky. That's the tricky part of this job. You can't really see her because these are all too small. But Ingrid Pitt was the inspiration for this tiny painted figure right here. And so I was basically approaching everything from that standpoint. And yeah, she's not clothed enough on the other spreads I have, and I can't show you guys spoilers, but that is the great Ingrid Pitt. A true babe and somebody who is her. If you want to read a biography that will make you go, that girl had moxie, okay? She escaped the Nazis, came to Britain, became a horror movie cinema goddess, and she passed away. She passed away like a true gangster on her way to a fan dinner. Some fans were throwing a dinner for her, and she passed away on her way there. So she died giving it all to the fans, man. What an outstanding legend. But look at Basil Gogos. I always say that it's about finding a high bar. So the best place do you mean my originals or do you mean my books? Because the best place to get my stuff is always on my Indiegogo campaigns. There are some paintings listed actually on SHANTHENJETIArt.com. I do have some paintings for sale there. A bunch of pinups and things I've done. I'm still waiting to hear back from someone. Some people who commission me to do work have first refusal on their paintings. And so when I get offers from people to buy the paintings, I always run it by them first. Are you okay? Do you want this painting? Do you have the money for this painting? So they get a chance to see it. Yes, it is. But here's the thing. It was one of many celebrations, Timmy, they were having for her. She was just like the people who were celebrating her. It was like a regular thing for them. I love that old gal. I really wanted to honor her. She actually is on the audio commentary. Yes. Oh, that's right. From the art book is probably how I showed it. I'm gonna make sure I don't. come up on anything I'm not supposed to. By the way, how long has he been working? Here's a Basil Gogos sand person from Star Wars. Got to make sure I don't get to anything too tawdry. There's a really great Robert Mitchum, man. Love Robert Mitchum. Is hard to paint, you know, and a great pencil drawing a bogey. And a really awesome, got to cover these up because these are Michelangelo drawings, but what a great Peter Cushing. What a great Peter Cushing. I know these are studies from Michelangelo or from Pontormo, I'm not sure. You can just tell. One of my all-time favorite monsters in terms of the great Jack Pierce, the Greek-American who designed Frankenstein and everything else, or so much of the makeup. This is his mummy. Take a look at that. Man, Boris Karloff was ingenious casting for that. Here's the painting that Dracula figure is based off of. The paintings. You can even see those two long brushstrokes there. And of course, look at those red eyes. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Love me some monsters. Love me some great monsters. His stuff was, of course, featured on the stamps. The tribute to the monster stamps. Look at that. When you have a stamp, that's when you've made it. Everybody knows that. Look at that. Just a legend. An absolute legend of an artist. Breathtaking pencil drawing, charcoal. I think it was charcoal, actually, drawings of Elsa Lancaster. I mean, look at that. That's haunting in the true sense of the word. Yeah, look at how beautiful. Beautiful. She had such great face structure. All of these actors had such great facial structure. What's up, Cranberry Landers? Channel member and OG. It's good to see you, brother. Look at this. Werewolf of London. The first werewolf film that inspired Wolverine, by the way. I mean, just crazy stuff. Then the heavy metal work. Look at this. Rob Zombie. Monster stuff. This dude worked until his dying breath, man. The Misfits. Yeah, stamps never lose value. I'm telling you guys, this guy is a machine. Sometimes I collapse because I'm serious. Like, I can't stop painting. But, guys, come on now. Look at that purple craziness in that hand. It makes the dish. It makes the dish. It's so cool. Amen, Bruce Campbell's chin. Amen. You know, this dude, look at that. Rondo Hatton. That beautiful, absolutely grisly King Kong. Oh, by the way, just so you know, he's a gangster. There he is hanging out with Steranko because, you know, that's how he rolls. And then look at this spread. I mean, most people, if they just did these 4 paintings, would call it a day. Oh, he's as famous as Frank Frazetta. Absolutely true. He absolutely is. He's one of my biggest influences, but in monster circles, he is the monster artist. Nobody comes close to him. He's the guy. So yeah, he is one, like what Frank Frazetta is to paperback fantasy, Basil Gogos is to horror painting and illustration. Nobody comes close. In fact, if you look at contemporary horror movie poster painters, they all do a Basil Gogos in their style, you know, and that's what makes it cool. This is where you guys are. When I say you're in the heart of Lovecraft country, this is what I mean. There's that trailer. Let me move this away from me because I've had that light in my face for too long. I'm gonna get snow blindness. But that is Nosfero the Cryptwalker, so that is the ad for that. This is, of course, one of the pieces that's going to be a print. For those of you guys, I forget which book you can back. You can also add this on. But this is one of the pages from that. The behind the scenes features that are going to be in the oxidized edition, which I've been showing off and on. Let me see if I can grab them here. It's not there. Man, I have so much paint on my hands right now. It's dried, but still, it's out of control. the bonus features for what is going to be in the back of the Oxidized edition. It's going to be showing you what dreams may come for book 2. All of the sneak peeks are going to be in the Oxidized edition. Can't show that one. It's, well, it doesn't show that much, but it's a little bit more risque. But that's showing the layouts for the start of the book. Here is our baddie that's going to be making this page is going to be in the book, this sketch page. Look at that. There's the castle. There's the gate. There's the symbol. It is going to be a blast, and it's going to be a battle. For this character that you were seeing, the blue character is fighting to keep this gate from being invaded by all of these giant Cthulhu-like characters. This is the scope that we're going for in book 2. This is the fun, and this is all stuff that you're going to be getting to see in the various sketch sections in the art edition and in the Oxidized edition. So make sure you grab those, because when that closes, Nosfero is not getting another printing of number 1 or the first book for a while, because I want to just, work on book 2 and then focus on Springball. So that's where it's going to go. And I know people are going to say, oh man, I missed it. I didn't know, because it's at 16K right now. That's not a lot of books I have to print, which is fine. But the thing I would tell you is if you are saying to yourself, maybe I should have some to flip on eBay, these might be the books, because the art edition is going to have, even if 100 people backed it tomorrow, it is going to have the smallest print run. It's going to be such a rare book. So just bear that in mind if you're looking to, think about, what's a book people are going to miss out on. It's going to be the Nosfero Oxidized edition, and it's going to be that art edition big time. Ever notice how we represent the bad guy as a rat-like featured monster? Yes, absolutely. All left over from the plague. I mean, that the plague really, that is like a transcendent terror. You know what I mean? Well, here's the thing, because this place I'm in, my studio space and fulfillment space, is about 12 feet by 12 feet. So I don't have a lot of space to keep extra stock. At some point, and we'll see where it goes, I'm hoping somebody else will be handling this stuff, in terms of publishing. I'll, at some point when I get together enough work, I will find somebody to do that. But right now, I'm just trying to make sure I get these books made and get those limited editions out, and then we go from there. And so you can always get them on future campaigns, but they just are going to cost more, But so this is what we did today, guys. We did The Bride of Frankenstein. And of course, if you're curious what the thumbnail image was, this is a demo that I just basically went and did a quick rough on for Eric Weathers when I was doing my painting lesson today. But here you go, Mark's Music Obsession. This painting will be headed your way, my brother. I hope all of you guys have had a wonderful day. What's up, Henry Thrun? How are you doing, my friend? Doing laundry, dinner, etc. That's perfectly fine. You can go back and watch me paint this from start to finish, so you didn't miss anything. Guys, do make sure you check out Dale KEOWN'S PITT, by the way, which is live on Indiegogo, and I did a fun little crazy trailer for it as well, so if you want to check that out, feel free to. None of my Shanth stuff is for sale. People can fight over it when I'm done. That's right. That's absolutely right, brother. Oh my gosh, yeah, I cannot wait. It's going to be so fun, and it's so great because it's on canvas, so all you really have to do is frame it. And then you've got it, out where you can see it, and it's got a really great painterly look to it. These are so fun. I love acrylic paintings. They just have a particular vibe to them. Shanth is going to rip us, of course. God, don't give me nightmares, man. Yeah, I want to. Damn it, Doc Brewski, you cracked me up, dude. What do you call it? But yeah, I definitely think that because I know that Ethan's talked about this, and I've talked to people in the past, maybe European publishers and things like that. But I want to make sure that I want to do something that's where I can do 8.5 by 11 stuff and find my audience, and I've got my audience here, but I want to get it out to where we are, wherever particular people congregate, as Paul Mall Filterless would say. Let me see here. I think I've got everybody. Oh, thank you so much, Cranberry Landers. Thank you so much, Comics Legend. Appreciate all of you guys. Indiegogo, Nosfero, still in demand. That's right. Going to back it now. Thank you so much, Jimmy the Lumberjack. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, guys. So, from the heart of Lovecraft country and the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Shanth Enjeti. You've been watching Shanth Enjeti Art. And as always, like to say, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace be with you guys. Give nihilism no quarter. All right, guys? I will see you soon, everybody. Have a great night. We'll do this again soon, possibly tomorrow. So if you're interested in monster artwork and you think you might want to bid on one, make sure you're here for the streams. I'm going to try to do them, you know, between like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or whatever around that time. I got a late start today because I had to do the thumbnail and things like that. But guys, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for backing Springball and Nosfero. Let's keep that stuff going. I think that Springball is almost to my favorite number in the whole world, which is 33. It's almost to 33K, which is amazing to me, and it's moving along. And then Nosfero is at 16K. So by all means, go out there, back it. Thank you so much, guys. I will talk to you guys soon. Here are the channel member credits. Take care, Cranberry Landers. Take care, Mark's Music Obsession. Take care, Admiral Wackass. Take care, Krabby Patty. Take care. Who else have I got here? Mark's Music Obsession, of course. Take care, my friend. And take care, Maromi and Past Master Dan. Have I got everybody? It just keeps jumping on me. Past Master Dan, thank you for the links, by the way. Thank you, Cursed Heart Creations. Thank you, Jimmy the Lumberjack. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Yes, indeed. So are we there? We're getting there. Are we at 33 yet? You know me. Maybe he kicked it to 33. All right, guys. I will see you all soon. Take care. And here are the channel member credits. I don't know if I updated them, so hopefully your name's on there. If not, it will be on there next stream. Take care, everybody. Much love.